I've been craving for Kapoon lately, so I decided why not make some today since the weather is kind of rainy and chilly outside. I started out by boiling a pot of water so that I can boil my chicken in. I like to soak my rice noodle into warm water because it just makes it easier for me when I cook it later. This is the bucket I use. Remember to mince some garlic also because you will need it to make the sauce. You can use as much garlic as you like, it depends on your preference. Remember to check on your chicken and add salt and pepper. I almost forgot about it. Once it is halfway cooked, you can take it out. I like to chill mine in the fridge to cool it down because I have to shred it later on and they just cool it way faster. I then boil another pot of water for the noodle because at this point the noodle should be softening enough to cook it. It took me about 5 minutes to give it to the texture that I like, but you can also taste test this before you soak into cold water. This is just my way of how I cool down my noodle for my Kapoon, but if you have an alternative way, you can definitely do that too. It doesn't really matter how you cool it down. Take your time and be really careful when trying to cool down your noodle because the liquid itself in the noodle, it is really hot. Once it's cooled down enough to the point where I can touch it, I then take a little bit at a time and place it on a separate bowl to cool it down because once these noodles cool down, they will stick together. And this is what it looked like after I place them all into this bowl. Now cover it up and set it aside. Your noodle is finished. I like to wash all my cans before opening them because sometimes they'll just be sitting on the shelf at the store and they can be really dusty. Remember to drain the bamboo tubes. Next, we're going to assemble the actual Kapoon sauce. We're going to add some olive oil into a pan and cook our garlic until it is golden brown. Next, I'm going to be adding some red curry paste. And with that, you have to add a little bit of water at a time just so the paste itself is not burned. Once the red curry paste is nicely melted and become this kind of like sloppy Joe texture-ish, I'm not sure how to describe it, you then pour in your coconut cream. I like to fill up the empty can with half of water just so I could get the rest of the coconut cream out. Once the sauce started boiling, you're going to get one last mix and then you're going to pour that into the chicken broth. Remember to mix it well before adding the other ingredient into the pot. At this point, the chicken should be cooled down enough for you to be able to shred it with your hand. Some people like to use fork, but since I'm just cooking for myself, I'm just using my hand to do it because it is just way faster and more convenient for me. I didn't keep any of the bone or skin of the chicken just because I didn't feel like it. But if you want to, you can definitely leave some meat on the bone and just continue boiling it in the broth. Next, you're just going to add the rest of the ingredient into the sauce. So your boiled chicken, your quail egg, bamboo, and give it a good mix. Cabbage is optional. Some people like it, some people don't. Me personally, I like it. That's why I have some. Now let's assemble our Kapoon and give it a test taste. Oh my god, that first bite just hit the spot because I've been craving for Kapoon for so long and today I finally had time to cook it. Let me know if you give this recipe a try because I want to know how your Kapoon turned out like. Thanks for watching. Until next time.